to growth. Success of an entrepreneur.
We've raised the bar.
Learn firsthand from successful business owners and create your own path to success.
I'm going to show you how great I am.
It's time to hit the road to growth with team lead of the Enriquez Group, Realtor Vinny.
Oh, a little echo right there. But you know what?
I like that.
So, thank you guys for being today. Today, I have Jeremy Snider. I've had him actually through real estate and brought him onto the Road Growth podcast because one thing, you actually know someone, what they do from the day to day, but how they actually got here. And that's kind of why the Road to Growth is here, to kind of guide you to where people have gotten, where they're going, and what kind of hurdles they've kind of worked through. Jeremy works the Kansas City real estate area out there with his wife. Last time I actually had, when we did it for the real estate, I had your wife on here at the same time, I think.
Yeah,
right?
well, because she's the brains of the operation. I'm the eye candy. I'm the eye candy of the operation. We take our jobs and we stay in our lanes. I do a lot of the marketing, a lot of the lead generation, a lot of the shaking hands and kissing babies, and she does all the contract negotiations, making sure that the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and that the numbers are what they say.
How long did it take for you guys, and we're gonna get to your backstory and everything like that. And how long did it take for you guys to figure out the roles that you did that and she did this?
And pretty quickly. She's been in real estate forever. She's been like 25 years. I've been in it 5 years. I was in radio advertising for 23 years was the career I was in before I got into real estate. And she was sitting down with a coach. This is several years before I joined her. And she's very introverted, but has been very successful growing her business through past clients and referrals. And this coach said, if you want to grow your business, you're going to have to either A, start talking to strangers and doing lead generation activities that get you in front of strangers, or hire somebody that is comfortable talking to strangers. And she went, oh, that's what my husband does all day long, talking to strangers and working on selling radio commercials and stuff like that. So we, it was like almost a 2-year process before I left radio and joined her. And so we were talking with other married couples that are realtors, and we kept hearing, figure out what you do. Don't do the same thing. Get your lane and stay in your lane. And she's very detail oriented, and I'm quiet, and I'm the loud, obnoxious one that loves. I'm very extroverted. I love open houses. That was not one of her favorite things to do. I like doing neighborhood events where all the neighbors come out and talk to us, and she's more about wanting to be more close one-on-one there. So pretty quickly, but that's because just talking to other people that had gone before us that were married couples and were successful.
Well, let's rewind. So young Jeremy growing up, was he always an extrovert?
Yes. Yeah, my father was a high school drama teacher. My father, when I was in elementary school, got his PhD at Michigan State University in theater education. And then we came back to Kansas City, and he was the head of the theater department at a local college here in Kansas City. And then he retired from that. So yeah, I've always been loud and gregarious and obnoxious.
Did you do a lot of theater growing up? I see the hand movements right there. So I'm like, I could see you up on stage.
No, I was in band. I was very musically gifted as a child. No, I was in band in high school. Theater was kind of my sister's thing. And she's a year older than me. And so I kind of let her do that, and she enjoyed it. She was very good. And I just went toward band.
Now, what was the goal in band? Were you thinking you were going to be an artist, or what were your hopes, aspirations growing up?
I just enjoyed it. And I chuckle when I was in middle school. I was in charge of hiring a mobile DJ for the school dance. And I thought it was the best dance ever. And I thought that was so cool. And I thought, man, that'd be kind of cool to play music for a living and go into radio. And then as I progressed and got into college, I said, the DJs aren't the ones making the money in radio. And, I'm a good sales guy. And so I did radio sales and did that, went to college, got a degree in that, and did that for 23 years.
Okay. So that was your aspirations, is kind of get into radio, do sales, and kind of just be in that kind of environment.
Yep.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, I chuckle because, I in high school knew what I wanted to do for a living, went and got a college degree in that. And then ended up getting a job out of college and did it. I mean, I know a lot of people that they'll get a degree in, you pick your degree and they do it for 2 or 3 years and then go a completely different direction. And I stayed the same direction, stayed the course for, a score, 20 plus years.
And then, so your wife basically was talked into it by her coach, right? To bring someone on that kind of fit the criteria that you had. And I know you said it was a 2-year kind of window that kind of took you from there to where you are today.
Okay.
What was that process like when she first came home to you and said, "Hey, I want to bring you on to my real estate team"?
Well, I was very successful. I was very good when I was a radio sales executive. At that time, I had a daughter from a previous marriage that was young, and I didn't want to make a big career change at that time and rock the boat. She was 16, and in my mind, it always been okay. Once my daughter turns 18, I can take some more risks. And so we've been talking, and I went to Keller Williams, their family reunion in Las Vegas before I left radio, took some vacation. And then I had some use it or lose it vacation time at the end of the year. And so I took the entire week off and did the real estate school and just got it out of the way. And my wife had always, he's never going to do it. He's never going to do it. He really likes radio. Radio has a lot of great perks, concert tickets. And, I like to talk about the Chiefs, this year's, Super Bowl champion. But back in 2011, the radio group I worked for had the broadcast rights to the Kansas City Chiefs play-by-play stuff. And so that year I helped entertain clients in the suite every year. What a great way to watch a football game. Now, keep in mind, that's the year the Chiefs went 2-14. They weren't as dominant as they are today, but a lot of good perks. She didn't think I'd ever leave, and I did. I took that week off, got licensed, and we made a plan that I think that was December. That by July I'd be done with radio and join her. And I went in, and I had great bosses. They were wonderful. I went in and gave my notice, gave them 4 weeks, which they took. They're like, definitely, we'll take that time. And it was good experience. But no, I don't miss it. I still keep in contact with a lot of the people. Got to keep those relationships going. Just saw my old boss a couple of days ago. I was doing a pop by to some people who had. We helped them sell their house. I went to the radio station, but never looked back, and it worked out very well for us.
What do you think was that thing that pushed you over? Because you did it for 23 years in the radio business. Yeah. Was it your wife's constant hey, maybe you should do it. Maybe you should do it. Or was it, what was that thing that actually pushed you over the edge to say, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm making the jump. I'm going to change my basically life and career.
Well, a couple things, and as a realtor yourself, the freedoms that we have as realtors and I saw her experiencing some of those freedoms, and I said, I like that, and here I am getting phone calls on a Tuesday at 8:04, like, where are you? Our day starts at 8:00. And knowing that, I had, my daughter was older then, and she was, living out of town. And when you work for a corporation, if you have X number of days vacation, you have to, okay, how many days am I going to go see my daughter? How about days for the rest of the family that go on vacations? But she had some freedoms that I was envious of. And I chuckle because still today, I still have that Monday through Friday, 5A to, or 8A to 5P mentality. And then as a realtor, you work evenings oftentimes and weekends. And my wife often has to say, you can't work all the time. Take a day off. So if I'm at the mall at a Monday at 10 o'clock, or if I'm at the gym at 2 o'clock on a Thursday, it feels weird. But if I've worked, Friday night, I work Saturday all day, I work Sunday, I need to have some balance.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I told my wife the other day that my boss says I got to stay till 4 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
She goes, aren't you your boss? I go, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously you can take advantage of that. Oh, look at all this freedom. I'm not going to work at all. But then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I don't have any business. Well, because you've been slacking.
Now, your wife already had and successful. She had a coach. She was, doing well in real estate. And for yourself, was there a number in mind that you go, I need to have this much saved away to allow me to make this my full-time career? Or was it just more of, I have faith because my wife is doing so well in this?
Well, yes and yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was always the question: what happens if I get into it? And wow, this doesn't jive with my personality. Or two, man, I'm really bad. Yeah, we had 6 months in savings, and the market's been good. The market's been good for 14 years. The last 5 since I've been in it's been very good. And you hustle and you treat it like a job.
Yeah.
And you work and you follow up and you send thank you notes and you follow up and you take clients out to lunch and you ask for referral, and you work. And it's not a hobby. It is our career.
How did the business change once you kind of got involved? I mean, I know the extrovert aspect of yourself, and I mean, there had to be some sort of filling out period of saying, okay, because I've had some couples on here where they have to learn to shut it off. They can't talk about work when they're at the dinner table and things like that. So was there any kind of a filling out period between you two?
That's called setting boundaries, which I don't have. I'll be laying in, whether it's a dinner table or bed at night with my wife, and I go, hey, I know it's 11:30 at night and we're just about to go to bed, but I got a question about our listing appointment tomorrow. She's like, no talking, no business. She's able to do that a lot better than I setting those boundaries.
Are there things that you've come to realize now that you didn't think were part of the business or part of the job title, anything like that, or part of what you're going to do today?
Well, here's what's funny, because you also asked how it's changed when I got on. When you work by referral or people oftentimes you're driving all over the metro, because she had friends everywhere, and one of our goals was to geographically focus our attention. In real estate, it's called farming. We really work our neighborhood, bringing a lot of high value to the neighborhood. And so we noticed our business, and the business was coming closer, because we're not having to drive 45 minutes to other parts of Kansas City. I was doing open houses at a very high level, and we had geographic parameters that I'm going to do it. If there's another Keller Williams listing agent that has a listing in a part of Kansas City that is in the same high school zone where we live, in the same city, so I'm not driving a long way. I want people to recognize me close. And so what we noticed is business was closer, and our average sale price was going up, which is nice. You can do the same number of deals
Nice.
and make more money if the house costs more.
Well, and you said that your wife was more referral based, while you were
Yep.
kind of more, I mean, cold leads, and I mean not
Yep.
necessarily cold leads, but colder leads because you're
Yeah.
getting from open houses.
Mhm.
I mean, so how did she adapt to the rejection? Because you've already dealt with it, I guess, in the advertising space,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so how does she deal with it?
It is hard because the way our business works is I do a lot of that lead generation,
Mm,
door knocking in the neighborhood. I'm the face at a lot of the events, doing open houses. And, when you work with people, you know them. Or if it's somebody wants to work with you and you're like, that person's a clown. I don't want to work with that person. You can choose to not work with that person. But if you don't know the person,
mm.
I know you've probably worked with people that they're wonderful, they're wonderful, they're wonderful, and then all of a sudden they're not. And often that's on the 20-yard line when you're close to closing. The way our business works, as I said, I do a lot of the lead generation, and once they are actively listing their house or actively buying, she takes over, and that can be challenging for her when someone becomes a jerk. And when it's like, we are a week away from closing this deal, this person will be out of our lives and we don't have to worry, but let's keep pushing forward. Yeah, it has been tough, very tough.
On that topic right there, when someone tells you, I'm gonna be one of the easiest clients you ever worked with, they're gonna be a pain in the butt.
Well, yes, yeah. Or you have people who say, I'm going to be real difficult, and then you hear their story, and it's because of a real estate experience they had when they bought their house 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's a different market. It's a different market now. So just try to set expectations. Oh, go ahead.
Where do you see your business going? If we're talking the next 5 years, where do you
Okay.
see your business going?
Some of the things that we are looking at, we are, we're real estate investors as well, wanting to grow that aspect. Right now, we just fix and flip. We're not holding yet. Everyone we talk to said, "Oh, holding property is the greatest thing I've ever done." But we're just we're taking the profits quickly, and instead of 5-10 years down the road, we're looking at wanting to buy some vacation property that we'd Airbnb. We met with a great guy in Nashville, Tennessee. We went there last week, and I'll have to send you a picture. This guy is great, but he's 6'7", and I am 5'7". So there's this picture of it. I'm here, and he's here. So, but yeah, we're planning retirement. It could be 10, 12 years down the road, but we're thinking about buying a property. We're also wanting to grow our outgoing referrals. And the way referrals work, it's, man, if I have someone moving to San Diego, I'm going to send it to Vinny. You're going to gladly take it because it's a heavy buyer, and then you're going to be showing them. You're going to be doing all the work, and it's just something we're wanting to focus on there, and then continuing to grow in Overland Park, Kansas, and the Kansas City area.
How long ago did you guys start flipping? Because I've had a lot of variety of realtors on here that do the flipping or the buy and hold. And sometimes we started as an investor first, and then we got into the real estate. What was that process like for you guys?
We have done 2. So,
okay.
But Janie loves it. She just fun watching her with the whole process. Keller Williams Overland Park has a very unique club. It's the investment club. There are several agents who got together and do investments, do flipping, do Airbnbs, and just did a twice monthly mastermind, and it's huge. It's so huge that some of the top leaders with Keller Williams International have said, okay, how can we model this and do this in other markets? And so I love Keller Williams agents who, part of the culture is to come from contribution, and people share their resources. They give us their suggestion. They say, hey, I'm doing, a broker lunch at my flip. Come take a look at it. And you look at it and you ask questions. Okay, why did you choose this kind of bathtub? Why are you choosing these colors? Why did you do this? How did you save costs here? And they're an open book. We're an open book. People ask us questions. There's, you got to come from abundance. There's plenty of information out there.
Have you always had that mindset of kind of coming from abundance?
No, a radio was real cutthroat. And, if there's a new car dealer coming to town, you got to be the first one on it, because only one person from your company is going to be able to be their sales rep. But then as I got older and more experience in radio, it's like, hey, I'm busy with my book of business here. That'd be great. Hey, if you want to call on that shopping mall, that'd be great. That's fine. I'm doing okay. But a lot more at Keller Williams, because there's, my neighborhood has 1,000 homes in it.
Yeah,
that can keep me busy. Focus on that. And there's a lot more than 1,000 homes in Kansas City.
I mean, well, how do you weigh that out? Because, right, I mean, I think that's a big thing. As you get older, you start coming from the idea of abundance. And sometimes people get scared. They go, I'm going to give my secret sauce away to someone, and now I'm going to not be able to feed my family. I mean, where does that kind of balance come from?
I think because a lot of our ideas are we get from our R&D department, the rip off and duplicate. Some of our more successful events have come from other agents, whether, everything to be a good realtor you can find on YouTube, how to run a good open house, how to call a FSBO, how to have a good listing presentation. It's all on YouTube. Yeah. So, I run open house classes at our office, and doesn't mean people are going to, follow me verbatim, but if they can get some good ideas, if it raises the level of professionalism on all of us.
When you look at your real estate career from up to this point, I mean, where do you think the biggest struggle was, or biggest hurdle you've kind of had to work through in this journey so far?
When I got in, Janie, my wife, and I keep adjusting my ear pod, so I'm sorry for that. We read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and we followed it. We followed the models we wanted to do, and it's like, wow, I'm knocking on these doors and having conversations, and it's not transferring. I'm not having this success today that the book is saying I should. And then I had a realization. It's like, they're interviewing millionaire agents that are millionaires now, and obviously they had to grow. All millionaire agents at one time were brand new and had not sold a house at all. That was just struggling there, going, hold on, we're doing everything right. It's just not paying off. And I think it's because real estate's it's a long game. I get online on Facebook, and you'll see people talk about, man, I need to do something. I can get a listing right now. I've been in the business 2 months. I need a listing right now. So, okay, here are some things you can do to get a listing right now. But, it goes back to the old adage, when's the best time to plant a tree?
Yesterday.
30 years ago. I look at a lot of our deals we have now. It's people that I've been talking to for a while. Every now and then you'll get somebody, and we just started. Yeah, we're interested. Hey, we'll work with you. And they buy a house first weekend. It's like, oh, wow. I'd like more of that. So, but that's why they say, the fortune's in the follow-up. It's a lot of follow-up in this business.
It sounds like your business is pretty consistent. And I mean, are there lag times and times where you, have to have faith in basically your process?
I wish there was. January, our January is just banging, and typically this is the time of year that things would be slower. Our December was off, off the rail. It's like, where's this business coming from? And it's stuff we did 90 days ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. It's our mailers. We were able to tell our mailers were working because we started getting calls from people that we did not know. Because we do all sorts of events. We're really involved in the elementary school. So if someone who has kids at the elementary school that we know, like, are they calling because of our mailers? Are they calling because they see us at all these events? It's you talking about, have things been slow? No, but that doesn't mean that we have more business than we can handle. We always have, time for, your referrals and additional business. But being a business owner, it's nice that we are able to press the accelerator or take our foot off the accelerator based on craziness going on in our lives. Sometimes, like my father passed away in April, and I was able to take some time off. Whereas I think if I was in the corporate world, it'd have been like, hey, I'm sorry, your father has passed. We'll give you a couple of days, but then we need you back in the office. But that was nice to be able to just exhale, be there for my mother, be there for my sister, and deal with that. So, but it didn't slow down. It kept going.
Do you as you're kind of growing and expanding, are you bringing on other team members, bringing on other admin, or what are your goals?
It's a great question. And Janie and I have had a discussion. We do have a transaction coordinator. Some of the marketing pieces that we do, I keep, we've got mailers. This is another one. This is the most recent one that I keep showing. We'll hire folks from Fiverr to design those. But we've been doing it long enough. Most of our events and most of the mailers are cycling back around. I happen to have, I'm trying to see here, like our next big event we're doing. It's our coat drive. And, it doesn't say the date. It just says Saturday, 2 to 3. I've had those signed for, 5 years.
Yeah.
And we use them again, just like everything. The Super Bowl is always on the, February. It's on a Sunday in the evening.
Well, and I know you brought it up a couple of times, and I thank you so much, Jeremy, for being on the podcast. And anyone in the Kansas City area or just looking for real estate help, go into the show notes, go find Jeremy. And before I kind of finish it off, Jeremy, are there? What would you say? And I know you said it again multiple times. The pros of being in real estate, right? The pro of having that flexibility, right? To have that ability.
Yeah.
Are there any cons that you could see for anyone that's maybe listening and thinking about getting into real estate?
Yeah. And let me go back to your last question because I didn't fully answer. We do have a transaction coordinator, and we have opted to not grow a big team. We want it to be just me and Janie and our transaction coordinator and a virtual marketing assistant, because you start people that have the big teams. Okay, I got my family problems. Now all of a sudden with my teammates, I'm going to have to take on their family problems, and I'm going to have to be there for them. And we just decided that's not what we wanted. But the cons of real estate is, when friends and people know that you're in real estate and you've had conversations with them and you've talked with them about selling their home at some point, and then all of a sudden you go by and they've got someone else's sign in their yard. And you're like, you get frustrated with the fact, hey, I understand that everyone knows 12 realtors. Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't call me to say, hey, I just want to let you know we're going in a different direction. We're going to be, using so-and-so because of, I've gotten an email before from somebody and say, hey man, we work together and we're just not finding anything. We're choosing to go in a different direction with somebody. And I appreciated that. It stung, but at least they don't, that can hurt. that can really hurt because sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. Also, it's like, we had coffee last week, and you said you were at least 2 years away. And as a realtor, you always take half of that. So, okay, they're only a year away. It's like, you were a week away from listing. So that's painful. Sometimes, things go, I don't want to say awry, but you're helping someone sell their house that they love and they think it's beautiful and they spend a lot of money on it, and the market doesn't agree. And having those tough conversations, whether it's price reductions or yes, the market is crazy and the people across the street sold quickly, but they've got a new roof, brand new windows, they're the popular colors, and you haven't touched your house since 1989, and you wanted to push the price, and the market is telling you it's not, and that gets to be tough.
Well, the eyes in the beholder. I had an appointment that I went on, and the house was pretty bad condition. There was a door that went to nowhere, just kind of like fall off. My stuff was falling down. And,
sure.
And the reason, the least they relayed to me, is they said I couldn't find the beauty in their property, and I was like, fair enough. Because
it's not there. I can't find it because it's not there. So.
So I mean, no, that makes sense. I mean, so have you learned to adapt to that? I mean, that you don't lose those friendships if they don't have, I guess, the
to be honest, I need to just be a man and man up on it,
Yeah.
It does hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm doing well. It's not like I'm starving. I drive a yellow Tesla. I drive the most obnoxious car in Kansas City. Yes, it is yellow. No, you cannot buy a yellow Tesla. It's a wrap. So we're doing well, but still, it hurts when someone doesn't call you, don't let you know, even after it closes. Like, as realtors, we can see all the information, Or if I'm coming over to your house and all of a sudden it's a different address, it's like, why are you living over here? So,
let's flip this over then. If someone's listening right now and they go, you know what, I really vibe with this guy, and I want to basically give him a call to get some insight into the Kansas City market, what's the best way of people reaching out to you?
To me, you'll chuckle. First thing I always say is send me a text. Send me a text, because I think we all get so many spam calls.
Yeah.
So send me your information. Or if you do call, leave a message. The number is 913-244-4424. That's a good way. My email is Jeremy, Jeremy, at sellwithsnider, like sell your house, and then Snider's SNIDER.com. Jeremy at sellwithsnider.com, like D. Snider of Twisted Sister. And I always call people back. I always text them back. I'm taking some Buffini training right now, and they showed a slide that talked about people's phone usage, and like number one was texting, and then it had games, and it had getting the internet, and like number 10 was to make a call, which was tied with I use my phone as a flashlight. I mean, I'm still old school. My wife likes to make fun of me. So why do you want people to call you? Well, so I can have a conversation with them, which is what a phone is for.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think everyone has their own way they want to be touched.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
phone, so text and calling me directly.
And if you guys didn't get that, go in the show notes too. You'll find all Jeremy's information. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for being here. And you can hear, right, listening to Jeremy, everyone listening right now, I mean, how much excitement he has, humor. And you know what? If maybe the excitement, the hand gestures don't jive with you, don't worry. He has a partner. He has a wife that can help you out. Just cookie cutter, right?
Yeah, well, it works for us. It works for us.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Please subscribe. Please share. And if you're in the Kansas City area or looking to be in the Kansas City area, go find Jeremy. Bye,
Appreciate
guys.
it. All right. Thank you, Vinny.